Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Nina and I am a plant collector from the Western New York area. I'm close to Buffalo, New York. Today I wanted to do a video to kind of highlight 5 plants in my collection that I'm really loving this month. Um, some of these plants are plants that have just been doing really good. A couple of them I bought as full plants. Some of them were cuttings, and one of them was a struggle plant that's just starting to look really nice now, and I'm kind of proud of the fact that it's not dead. The first plant that I want to talk about is a new plant that I've recently purchased. This one I bought locally at a nursery. Um, it's a Hoya. It's Hoya Bella. Um, the reason that I have this one on my list right now is because the growth on this plant is absolutely crazy for a Hoya. I mean, it grows really, really, really fast. I've had this plant for about a month and I have at least 4 inches of new growth on a couple of the vines. And several of the vines that were sort of stumpy, the nursery must have taken cuttings from it at some point, have a couple of inches of growth on them as well. Um, but the plant grows so fast, and the flowers um, that I've seen online are really cool looking. So I'm excited to see this one bloom. Um, but Hoya Bella is the first plant on my loving it this month list. The second plant that I have on my list of plants that I'm really loving this month is a Syngonium chiapense. It's not the variegated chiapense, but I really like this one. I love the color of it. It has a really nice kind of matte green color to it. It's soft. The leaves are very soft. They're very, I would say, velvety. Um, and the plant grows really well. I bought this as a cutting off of Palm Street, and I want to say I did that in September or October. And it was just a single leaf cutting. This leaf right here was the leaf that it came with, and it still has it on there. So it's grown quite a bit since September. We have several new leaves. It just pushed this leaf out recently. It's not even hardened off yet. So this was the last leaf that came out. So I'm assuming it's going to be slightly larger than this one. But I have it potted up in just leca. Like I said, it came to me as a cutting, so it was in sphagnum moss, and I have over 400 plants in my collection, so I'm trying to kind of make watering days easier on myself. So I've done a lot of self-watering containers. Most of mine are recycled because that's just me. I don't want to spend money if I don't have to, except on plants. So if I recycle my containers from takeout, or like vases that I have around the house that I don't need anymore, the more money I have for plants. So my containers are very cheap, but that means that I can afford to pay for $400 or 400 plants, which I would rather have plants than fancy containers. So, but I took the sphagnum moss off and put it in a smaller self-watering container with leca, and it seemed to really like it. So when I potted it up, um, I just kept it in the same kind of situation. And you can see like the roots, even this side has, like, these are all new roots. So it's really liking the leca. Chiapense is my second favorite plant this month. Just the color, the growth, and really this one's always been a favorite, just the softness of the leaves. Um, it's just a cute plant. I love that one. The third plant on my list is my Philodendron melanochrysum, or melanochrysis. If you have grown this plant and realize what a pain in the butt it can be, it definitely was not an easy plant for me. I bought it as a small starter plant. As most of my plants have come to me as either cuttings or starter plants. We don't have a lot of plant shops or plant options in my area, so almost all of my plants come from either one or two nurseries in the area that do carry house plants or online. So this one was an online purchase from Etsy, a company called Sunshine Greens. Um, didn't have a great experience with some of their plants. This was the only one that I really was completely satisfied with, but that's another story. Anyhow, it struggled a lot. I had to chop it 3 times before I finally got it to this point. And even, after I had chopped it, I still had some issues with some of the leaves coming out wonky. This one just never really fully developed. It kind of came out funky. Only one side unfurled, the other side didn't really do much. This leaf struggled. This plant has had spider mites. I can't even tell you how many times. It had extra floral nectaries so bad to the point that some of the leaves were just disgusting, and I chopped it because it was just, um, I couldn't get a good leaf out of it if I tried. And finally, I got a wet stick to grow. And like I said, it still struggled until this newest leaf that came out. It's just looking really nice. I don't want to say perfect because I don't want to jinx it, because as soon as I do say that, something will happen. But and it's working on a new leaf right now. I will say that once I put it into a self-watering pot, I noticed that it was a lot easier to get this plant to get moving. Um, and it seems to be pretty happy in it so far. Crossing my fingers, because I would really love to see the big, giant, dark leaves. But we'll see what happens. So far, though, so good, since I've chopped it a million times and put it in self-watering. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed, and hopefully it'll be able to remain a favorite. The next plant that I have on my favorites list, and these really aren't in any specific order, it's just kind of what was closest, or what one I really wanted to show off first. But they're definitely top 5. The next one is my Philodendron Spiritus Sancti. Oh boy, this guy's big, which is why it's one of my favorites. So this is the newest leaf, and it's quite large, and it's got extra floral nectaries, so it's sticky, but it's fairly large. It's looking amazing. I have it. I did buy this one at a nursery. I did buy this one online. I bought a starter plant of this and paid a fair amount of money for it. And after it started to show more mature leaves, outside of just the regular baby leaves that look the same as every other philodendron, I very quickly found out that it was not the plant that it should have been. What plant it was, I don't know, but it definitely was not a spiritus. It did not have any of the characteristics of the spiritus. So I ended up buying this one at a nursery. I was lucky enough to find it locally, so I was able to purchase it as an actual full plant instead of having to purchase another one online and hope it was the plant that I ordered. This was a wish list plant, so I was super excited to find this, especially locally. I would much rather buy locally than online if I could, but we don't really have a lot around us. But I have this one hanging on my wall. It's in a self-watering container. I have it on a pole because I'm trying to get it to go up. It's very, very close internodal spacing, so I'm assuming that this is going to take quite a while for it to get some height on it on a pole, but I have these wire baskets that fit up against a wall. They're flat on one end, round on the front, so I have it sitting in that on the wall, and it's absolutely loving it because the leaves are just looking amazing. But my Spiritus is on my top 5 list for the month. And then the last plant that I have on my list is another Hoya. I've kind of been going Hoya crazy lately. I must have started out 2024 with, I think, 4 Hoyas. And now going into 2025, especially in the last 3 months, I'm up to, I think, like 65 Hoyas. I just can't get enough of them. I love them because they're easy. Hoping that they'll flower, that's kind of a goal. I like a challenge, and I live in Western New York, so we don't have a ton of sun. We don't have the most ideal conditions for Hoyas to bloom, but we can get them to bloom. So I find it a challenge, and I'm looking forward to it. But this one I bought last summer, and I'm probably going to butcher the name because it's very long and hard to pronounce, but it's a Hoya vitinellioides. I'm hoping that's correct. But the leaves are so beautiful, and this has some pest repellent that I put on it. I had a plant next to it that had mealies, and I did not want mealies on this, so I sprayed it as a preventative, so I have to wash leaves off. But the leaves are absolutely humongous. These ones are smaller. Those are the ones it came with, but these 2 are the newest leaves that it's gotten since I brought this home, and the vine that it's growing on is getting a couple more leaves. I don't want to touch them too much because I don't want to break them off, but it's starting to wake up for the spring. I have it in front of a grow light for the winter, and it did put out a couple of leaves over the winter, but grow lights are never really a substitution for good old-fashioned sunlight. So I don't know what happens to the peduncles after they're done. I don't know if they'll rebloom from it. I'm assuming they will, since everyone says not to cut them off. So that one is going to stay on there, and we'll see. Maybe it will do something. I don't know. I'm hoping. I will cross my fingers because it would be awesome to see this bloom. I didn't notice that there were new leaves coming out on this plant when I repotted it into self-watering. So I think that may have something to do with why those leaves curled rather than stay kind of flatter like the other ones. But another self-made self-watering planter. So that's Hoya vitinellioides. Vitinellioides? Either way, cool plant. Love it. It's looking nice. And we'll see what happens with this one outside this summer. Hopefully these plants stay looking nice, and we see what happens with them next time. So I appreciate anyone who has decided to watch my video today. This is my first full-length YouTube video. I usually do shorts, and mostly I post plants on Instagram or TikTok. So I will leave those links in the description below if anybody wants to follow me there. I post very regularly on Instagram and TikTok, so most of my plant updates are there, but I'm going to start trying to make an effort to post some longer videos here on YouTube. I do have 26 followers for my shorts, so they might enjoy having something that's a little bit longer than a minute. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.